All right. What's up, everybody? This is your boy Jay coming at you live Friday night with the last share for the week. So we continue next week by from the book "Who Moved My Cheese" by Dr. Spencer Johnson. So yesterday I left off with how Hem was getting stuck, and he was blaming circumstances, and he was complaining how it was not fair, and Hall had begun to wonder what he could do to get out in the maze again and start finding cheese and go after what he wanted to have, and how Sniff and Scurry, because they weren't overcomplicating their thinking and they weren't getting stuck with whether things are fair or not, and they were just simply focused on going after it. They just simply what's going on here. They just simply started to execute. Uh-huh. There you go. All right, great. They just simply started to execute, right? And and okay, so I don't understand what's going on, but okay. So they just got out in the maze again. They started to sniff and scurry along the maze, and they found cheese once again in Cheese Station N. And when Hall started to get ready and putting back his running gear to get out into the maze, Ham ended with the question, "You're not really going to go out in the maze again, are you? Why don't you just wait here with me until they put the cheese back? Until they put the cheese back. Who? I have no idea." So here's the continuation. "Because you don't just get it," Hall said. "I didn't want to see it either, but now I realize they're never going to put yesterday's cheese back. It is time to find new cheese." Ham argued, "But what if there's no cheese out there? Or even if there is, or even if there is, what if you don't find any?" "I don't know," Hall said. He asked himself those same questions too many times, and he felt the fears again that kept him where he was. He asked himself, "Where am I more likely to find cheese? Here or in the maze?" He painted a picture in his mind. He saw himself venturing out into the maze with a smile on his face. Imagination, fantasies, powerful stuff, visioneering. While this picture surprised him, it made him feel good. He saw himself getting lost now and then in the maze, but felt confident he would eventually find new cheese out there and all the good things that came with it. He gathered his courage. You see, depending on how you use your imagination, depending on what you choose to focus on, depending on what you keep on thinking over and over again, your perception about the situation is going to change. So even if you're in a bad situation, if you start looking forward in the future with ideas of how you can do something better or how things are going to get better for you because you started taking action, then that's going to start to give you confidence again. It's going to start giving you hope and courage. Continuing with the story. Then he used his imagination to paint the most believable picture he could. Once again, he used imagination to paint the most believable picture he could with the most realistic details of him finding and enjoying the taste of new cheese. Imagination, guys, and I said it yesterday again, and I think the day before I said the same thing. Napoleon Hill quotes imagination as the most marvelous, miraculous, inconceivably powerful force in the universe. Albert Einstein allegedly was quoted by saying that imagination is more important than intelligence. So here, Dr. Spencer Johnson is saying how Hall used his imagination to paint the most believable picture he could with the most realistic details. And the devil is in the details. What's going on, Azran? The devil is in the details, my friends. And that is why when you use your imagination, you just don't picture some random picture, you actually use your imagination and you picture it with like 4K crystal clear clarity of what it is exactly that you would like to have. Hall saw himself eating Swiss cheese with holes in it, bright orange cheddar and American cheeses, Italian mozzarella and wonderfully soft French camembert cheese, and then he heard Ham say something and realized they were still at Cheese Station C. Hall said, "Sometimes, Ham, things change, and they are never the same again. This looks like one of those times. That's life. Life moves on, and so should we." Hey, what's going on, Tony? Check it out. Hall said to Ham, "Sometimes things change, and they are never the same again. This looks like one of those times. That's life. Life moves on, and so should we. So you should move on. When things are changing, do not get stuck in the same place that you were. Keep adjusting." I'll give you a story of mine, guys, just real quick. I was a pharmacist, and I knew I had to quit because the industry and the market are not what they were 10, 15 years ago. And I knew that just being there was going to have me being really miserable and unfulfilled, doing more work for the same or even less money. And the only reason why I was doing pharmacy was because the money was good. And I asked myself, so listen, if I don't have a purpose here and the money is not even that good anymore, what am I still doing here? And I knew that I had to change. So I started to look for things for for me to grow so that I could become somebody else, so that I could do things I'd never done before. Hall looked at his emaciated companion and tried to talk sense to him, but Ham's fear had turned into anger and he wouldn't listen. How many times have we hidden fear underneath anger, underneath pride, and we haven't allowed ourselves the chance to change, listen to new information that was going to help us grow? Hall didn't mean to be rude to his friend, but he had to laugh at how silly they both looked. As Hall prepared to leave, he started to feel more alive, knowing that he was finally able to laugh at himself, let go, and move on. So don't take yourself so seriously. Learn to laugh at yourself and move on. Change courses. Nothing is set in stone, but you have to go out and do something different so that you know if that's the thing for you or not. Because if you never do it, you will never really know whether that's the thing for you or not. And that's the truth. What's up, PDF? Good to have you, brother. Hall laughed and announced, "It's maze time." Ham didn't laugh and he didn't respond. Hall picked up a small, sharp rock and wrote a serious thought on the wall for Ham to think about. As was his custom, Hall even drew a picture of cheese around it, hoping it would help Ham to smile, lighten up, and go after the new cheese. But Ham didn't want to see it. So if you're stuck where you don't want to be and people are trying to help you and you're not open to it, that's you not wanting to see it. So do not blame other people, do not blame circumstances, do not blame situations. Learn to take responsibility for where you are in life. What Hall wrote, what Hall wrote on the wall read, "If you do not change, you can become extinct." And how true is that? Hola, Tati, ¿cómo están, Bosem? And how true is that? If you don't change, you can become extinct. And it goes right back to survival, I guess. I don't know, like even theories by Darwin, he said that it was a survival of the fittest. And many people, like all studies come out that it is not the strongest race that survives, it's the one that adapts the most. So it's not even about surviving, it's about thriving. So if you're not adapting, if you're not changing, if you're not constantly evolving with evolution, hey Zong, you are going to become extinct and I'm going to you're welcome. And I'm going to quote Eric Hoffer again. He said, "In times of change, the learners will inherit the earth, while the learned," what's going on, Brendan? While the learned will be beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. So think about that. Let it sink in. Change, evolve. We live in a constant evolution of change. And with that, Have a great weekend and see y'all on the next one. Much love. It was your boy Jay. Peace out.